What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to our Bible study. Alrighty. So now we've got Numbers chapter 12 lined up. Last chapter we had complaints from just the general populace of God's people, especially them complaining about wanting to eat meat because all they had to eat in the wilderness otherwise was manna. And then God gave them just tons of it. Quail specifically. And yeah, that pretty much brings us to the situation here. As they're traveling through the wilderness, it said at the end of the last chapter that they went from where all the quail came to a place called Hazeroth. So that's, I guess, where we're picking things up. So, Numbers chapter 12. While they were at Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because he had married a Cushite woman. They said, "Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he spoken through us too?" But the Lord heard them. Now Moses was very humble, more humble than any other person on earth. Really now. A little bit of a, humble brag. Moses saying of himself. Because it's commonly believed that Moses was the author of most, if not all, the first 5 books of the Bible. So, yeah. I mean, now Moses did generally not think of himself as, this great, amazing leader. But that had a lot to do with his, lack of confidence in speaking and those types of things. But anyway, but it says that Aaron and Miriam were saying this because he married a Cushite woman, which, Moses had married before even, going back to bring the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. He had married one of Jethro's daughters, who was so I don't know. I don't necessarily see why this was a problem, but I guess they took issue with it. Anyway, verse 4. So immediately the Lord called to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam and said, "Go out to the tabernacle, all 3 of you." So the 3 of them went to the tabernacle. Then the Lord descended in the pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle. "Aaron and Miriam," he called, and they stepped forward. And the Lord said to them, "Now listen to what I say. If there were prophets among you, I, the Lord, would reveal myself in visions. I would speak to them in dreams. But not with my servant Moses. Of all my house, he is the one I trust. I speak to him face to face, clearly, and not in riddles. He sees the Lord as he is. So why were you not afraid to criticize my servant Moses?" Also footnotes, tent of meeting for tabernacle, kind of in both instances there. And God is basically saying to Aaron and Miriam that, Moses is, significant. He is the one that I have chosen to lead my people. If you had, other prophets, I wouldn't be revealing myself the way that I am. I speak to Moses directly in a way that's even better than how I would reveal myself through the prophets. You all are benefiting from the, plainness of how I speak with and reveal myself to Moses. So, you really think that it's okay to be insulting somebody that's so significant to basically everything that's going on among your people right now? Anyway, verse 9. The Lord was very angry with them, and he departed. As the cloud moved from above the tabernacle, there stood Miriam, her skin as white as snow from leprosy. When Aaron saw what had happened to her, he cried out to Moses, "Oh, my master, please don't punish us for the sin we have so foolishly committed. Don't let her be like a stillborn baby, already decayed at birth." So Moses cried out to the Lord, "O God, I beg you, please heal her." But the Lord said to Moses, "If her father had done nothing more than spit in her face, wouldn't she be defiled for 7 days? So keep her outside the camp for 7 days, and after that she may be accepted back." So Miriam was kept outside the camp for 7 days, and the people waited until she was brought back before they traveled again. Then they left Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. So, I mean, okay, Aaron and Miriam were related. So was Moses. But, you know, Aaron and Miriam, like, kind of grew up together more so than they would have with Moses. Because Moses was, you know, like, raised in... I don't know if temple's quite the right word, but he was basically raised as if he were one of Pharaoh's sons, rather than, you know, by his original family, or his original parents at least. So I'm thinking that kind of had a lot to do with Aaron's reaction to Miriam, you know, having all this leprosy on her, because their connection was deeper, and he didn't want Miriam to end up dying of the leprosy or whatever, or even if not dying, like possibly just being exiled or like banished from the rest of the people. There were a lot of restrictions on people, you know, who had leprosy. So, anyway, also footnote there at leprosy with a skin disease. Yeah, the term leprosy is rather general and vague, but still, skin is white as snow, though. I mean, that's pretty clear what that means. So, also, if she suddenly looked super duper pale like that, I mean, that doesn't happen when you're feeling well. So, in general, Aaron was concerned for her health. So, you know, Aaron asks Moses, and then Moses asks God to heal Miriam. But, you know, if he had healed Miriam right then and there and said it was all fine, it would have, like, lessened the impact of what he had just said and done. So he's kind of like, okay, she could be healed, but there's still, you know, these laws that I've laid out for people who have been unclean. I'm not going to give her special treatment on that. She's got to remain outside the camp for 7 days. So, yeah. Anyway, and yeah, chapter 12 is kind of short, so that pretty much wraps it up. All right. So, as always, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with others if you want them to see. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get updates when I post new videos. Look down in the description to get info on other social media pages and all other links to other internet outlets. And below that, leave any comments with thoughts you have on this chapter, other Bible stuff, other video ideas, whatever you have for me, let me know down below. So that's it for now. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video. But until then, stay cool, people.